Okay, hold on. I'm scared now. Is it recording? Cloud recording is on. I'll give you co-host. Okay, and in 5 minutes. Let me get the. Did you post the link? Yes. Copy text. Copy text. We need. Who is new? Kayla.
People, so.
Kayla. Amy. Who's the girl that was on this morning? Kathleen, Alex, Curtis, Taryn. Who else is new? Help me, please.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I cannot even hear you. You sound like a muffled mess.
What about now?
It's a little bit better. Who else is on our team?
Ashley.
Ashley, Tamara. I don't even have her number in here, but she just entered. Mike. Who else is on our team?
Cecilia.
I don't know who Cecilia is. Oh, she was Cecilia Gray.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else?
Charity Smith.
Cherry, that was it. I don't know. Oh, Charity. Nobody else on our team. All right, let me try to share. There, how do I make this big? Shut up, Zeus. How do I play it? No, I do this. And then I play it. So, share, screen one, share sound, optimize for video sharing. We can practice it. And play.
Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Today's special guest is Maryssa Maggio,
Yes
who will
or
be
no?
sharing lessons for Q2 acceleration. Remember the importance of teamwork, as it said. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. Here are the top 5 agents WTD for April 15th through the 21st, week 3.
Pause it real quick.
Congratulations to Heather Robeson, leading the pack with over $13,000. Let's look at the top 5 agents MTD for April 2026. Alex Gross takes the #1 spot, followed closely by Heather Robeson. Your persistence, focus, and hard work speak volumes. Congratulations to all the top performers. This is our weekly schedule, packed with opportunities for growth and collaboration. Take note of the morning motivation meetings, the Solidity weekly team meeting. Welcome to the
All right, so you could hear it, right, Kim?
Yeah.
All right, in 2 minutes, I'll just let people on, or in 1 minute, there's only Tiffany and Anmar. Zoom user. Nathan. All right, in a couple of seconds, we can let them in and you can start it. And then I'll start it. Try to see if you can text Brooke and get her on it. I just want to look like there's a lot of people on. As many people as possible. All right, you can admit all.
The Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Today's special guest is Maryssa Maggio, who will be sharing lessons for Q2 acceleration. Remember the importance of teamwork, as it said. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. Here are the top 5 agents WTD for April 15th through the 21st, week 3. Congratulations to Heather Robeson, leading the pack with over $13,000. Let's look at the top 5 agents MTD for April 2026. Alex Gross takes the #1 spot, followed closely by Heather Robeson. Your persistence, focus, and hard work speak volumes. Congratulations to all the top performers. This is our weekly schedule, packed with opportunities for growth and collaboration. Take note of the morning motivation meetings, the Solidity weekly team meeting on Thursday, and the Millionaire Maker on Friday. Our May book of the month is Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Burchell. Join the discussion on Discord every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time during the morning meeting breakout room. Register for the virtual business overview at fflvpo.com/join to share more about the IMO that is paying agents what they deserve. Great news! Family and agent group health insurance are now available to all. Thank you, Integrity. Find out more and get your rates in minutes at integrityhealthplan.com. Don't miss the Ignite sales conferences. We have 2 free entry events, Phoenix on May 28th and West Palm Beach on September 10th. Register as soon as possible to learn how to sell at a high level, build an agency, and scale your business. Team events will be posted in Discord. Get ready for the Great El Paso Lock-In from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome, but get your flights soon. All Just Serve members should attend this lock-in. Registration for this will be coming in Discord. Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Today's special guest is Maryssa Maggio, who will be sharing lessons for Q2 acceleration. Remember the importance of teamwork, as it said. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. Here are the top 5 agents WTD for April 15th through the 21st, week 3. Congratulations to Heather Robeson, leading the pack with over $13,000. Let's look at the top 5 agents MTD for April 2026. Alex Gross takes the #1 spot, followed closely by Heather Robeson. Your persistence, focus, and hard work speak volumes. Congratulations to all the top performers. This is our weekly schedule, packed with opportunities for growth and collaboration. Take note of the morning motivation meetings, the Solidity weekly team meeting on Thursday, and the Millionaire Maker on Friday. Our May book of the month is Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Burchell. Join the discussion on Discord every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time during the morning meeting breakout room. Register for the virtual business overview at fflvpo.com/join to share more about the IMO that is paying agents what they deserve. Great news! Family and agent group health insurance are now available to all. Thank you, Integrity. Find out more and get your rates in minutes at integrityhealthplan.com. Don't miss the Ignite sales conferences. We have 2 free entry events, Phoenix on May 28th and West Palm Beach on September 10th. Register as soon as possible to learn how to sell at a high level, build an agency, and scale your business. Team events will be posted in Discord. Get ready for the Great El Paso Lock-In from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome, but get your flights soon. All Just Serve members should attend this lock-in. Registration for this will be coming in Discord. Welcome to the Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Today's special guest is Maryssa Maggio, who will be sharing lessons for Q2 acceleration. Remember the importance of teamwork, as it said. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. Here are the top 5 agents WTD for April 15th through the 21st, week 3. Congratulations to Heather Robeson, leading the pack with over $13,000. Let's look at the top 5 agents MTD for April 2026. Alex Gross takes the number 1 spot, followed closely by Heather Robeson. Your persistence, focus, and hard work speak volumes. Congratulations to all the top performers. This is our weekly schedule, packed with opportunities for growth and collaboration. Take note of the morning motivation meetings, the Solidity weekly team meeting on Thursday, and the Millionaire Maker on Friday. Our May book of the month is Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Burchell. Join the discussion on Discord every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time during the morning meeting breakout room. Register for the virtual business overview at fflvbo.com/join to share more about the IMO that is paying agents what they deserve. Great news! Family and agent group health insurance are now available to all. Thank you, Integrity. Find out more and get your rates in minutes at integrityhealthplan.com. Don't miss the Ignite sales conferences. We have 2 free entry events, Phoenix on May 28th and West Palm Beach on September 10th. Register as soon as possible to learn how to sell at a high level, build an agency, and scale your business. Team events will be posted in Discord. Get ready for the Great El Paso Lock-In from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome, but get your flights soon. All Just Serve members should attend this lock-in. Registration for this will be coming in Discord.
All right, guys, thank you for hopping on. And let me go ahead and get started. Thank you for watching that. As you guys could see, we had a brand new thing happening this week. We have a new system in place for our recognition, so I hope you hop on early. If you didn't hop on early this week, make sure you do. That's where all of our announcements are going to be. And in respect and for everybody's time, we are going to make sure that the announcements are done prior to our actual meeting so we can accomplish more. As you know, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. If you're late, you're definitely late. So you might as well not hop in because you missed something really important. So today we're going to welcome, and I thank you for hopping on here. This week, basically at our Just Serve Insurance Solutions weekly team meeting. Before I bring on our guest, though, I do want to start with this. Today is going to be about learning from others who have gone before us. The verse from Ecclesiastes 4:9 through 10 says, 2 are better than 1. If you were here on time, you did see that on the slideshow. 2 are better than 1 because they have good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. And this verse is kind of going to remind me of that we are all better together. We grow faster, we grow stronger, and we learn from the people who've already walked in front of us. So Maryssa has been that person for our team. She's always been there for us, for myself, and she's been there when we need her, including today. So I appreciate her being here. Maryssa, I appreciate you being here, spending your time. We will make this really quick. We'll do 30 minutes. And guys, if you have any questions, this is what we're going to talk about today. If you have any questions, post them in the chat. And I'll go through them throughout the call. But Maryssa, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. And why I invited you here is because you are an integrity partner. You're our integrity partner. You are a top producer while you're doing it. And you're one of the best team builders and communicators that I know. So Maryssa, thank you for joining us.
Well, Heather, thank you so much for the introduction. I don't take it lightly, and I really appreciate you. I appreciate everything each and every one of you guys does, and just such a great introduction. So thank you so much for having me today. I'm actually really excited to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So with that being said, how's your day going?
My day's going amazing. How about you?
Awesome. We're doing awesome. We're doing awesome. We're still trying to work here on getting things straight. So Maryssa, quickly about this and everything happening. Right now we're hopping into Q2. Some of us may feel like we're falling behind, right? We set our goals. That's what you taught us to do. You taught us to set goals. And now we're looking at those goals saying, I'm feeling a little behind. What are you personally focusing on right now in Q2 to really accelerate your growth? But also, if it's not going to be where you wanted to be, how are you fixing it? Do you mind?
Yeah, so really one thing I had to learn early on in this industry was you should have a goal, right? And it should be a goal that scares you, right? but you should have a drop dead goal as well. Meaning, as an example, somebody says, I want to hit Hall of Fame in 2026, but my drop dead goal is writing $250,000 minimally. Or I want to have a group doing $1 million a month, drop dead, I want to have a group doing 250 grand a month, right? So I'm not saying lower your expectation, but when you can have a drop dead goal, meaning like no matter what, you come hell or high water, I'm going to hit this. It allows you like psychologically to be able to view your bigger goal as something that you're just breaking down into pieces. And here's what I will say is in the beginning of like the year, like January, February, March, some people hit the ground running. There's been years in this industry where I've hit the ground running. January, February, March have been my best months, right? Now, on the other side of that, Heather, I've had years where, the best months in the year are September, October, November, December. And that's just really depends on where your focus is at. Now, if you're just coming in, you got started, whether that's, today is your first day, you got started 30 days ago, 90 days ago, or, 180 days ago. You have to realize you're still new. And I say that with love and support. You're not supposed to know everything. To be honest, it would be really weird if you knew everything, being that early in. So just making sure you're allowing yourself enough grace to adjust the goal, but also you're giving yourself enough support, so to say, to be able to set a goal that you actually want to hit. Sometimes we look at other people's goals. And like, as an example, I could be like, well, Heather's a Hall of Fame producer, so I have to be a Hall of Fame producer. Like, well, no, I don't, if that's not what I want, right? Because if I start going after just comparison complex, right? Because that's a real thing in this industry. And I compare myself to the person next to me and say, I have to make that my goal because that's what, Anmar's doing. I have to make that my goal because that's what Heather's doing. I have to make that my goal because that's what Deborah's doing. No, you have to make it your goal because that's what you want to do. If not, it's never going to work out. And I've made goals both ways. I want to be like really clear on that. I'm not too proud to say it. I've made goals contingent upon what other people wanted, and then I've made goals contingent upon what I actually wanted. And when you can seek that internally, it might sound corny right now, but when you can actually internally seek out what you want and what you need from this business, it's going to make it a lot easier to adjust as you move through the year. Did that answer your question, Heather?
Absolutely. I appreciate that. So the goal that scares you, which is pretty much what everybody does at the beginning. But I think the key there is the drop dead goal and then working towards that and not comparing ourselves to other people in a bad sense, but using that, I think you would agree that using that to make us succeed to the goal that we need. I love that.
Absolutely.
We have a lot, as you can see, a lot of people on here who are brand new. I mean, some of them are still in licensing, contracting. Some of them haven't written a lot of business, but they're working hard every single day. If you remember back to a long time ago, when you were brand new, what would you do? Because a lot of them are actually trying to build at the same time, because that's what we're encouraging, right? We're encouraging people to take both paths and to build. Not that they have to, but that's what we're encouraging. How would you suggest, as a new agent, we all know that we shouldn't wait to recruit and bring people on. How would you suggest, as a new agent, to best build their team and show up for their team and write business? What are some suggestions for you or for them?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is going to come back to your schedule. And you guys might be like, oh my gosh, your schedule again, right? Well, everything in this business is really going to come back to your schedule. If it's not scheduled, it's not on the calendar, you're probably not going to do it. And I'm not saying you, I mean, we people are probably not going to do it because that's just how our brains are wired, right? In school, you followed your, where you're going to class or whatever it might have been, right? Every single day. And that's why you were there because that's what your schedule said you had to do, right? If you can take the same concept of a classroom and you can push it over here, it's going to help you immensely because it keeps you organized. Now, in terms of building and selling at the same time, I've heard like every excuse in the book. this is not fortunately and unfortunately for me, I didn't start at Family First Life, right? I started with a practice company and made next to no money, okay, guys? But I learned a lot there in terms of sales, skills, and scheduling. And really, what I've realized is over the years, everyone's going to come up with the different excuses to why they can't sell, build, go to the trainings, right? Whatever it might be, all at the same time. And here's what's so important to know. If it's on your calendar, do it. Whether that means you're doing, as hypothetically, I'm making this up, guys. I'm not saying this should be your schedule. Hypothetically, you work from 8 to 4, right? And you have maybe your lunch break, okay, in between that. And let's just say you're trying to make 5 sales a week. After you make that first sale, if growing is what else you need to do, and that's one of your drop dead goals is to grow your business, start getting on the phone and recruit. Like, get on the phone and just start recruiting. Reach out to your friends, reach out to people that you actually would want to be in the business with. The biggest mistake that I made, and the biggest reason, Heather, why I truly believe that people think that selling and building at the same time can be really difficult is because A, if we trick our brains to do anything, it can do pretty much anything. But B, because we were recruiting the wrong people. Like, Heather, is it fair to say there was a time where, like, I too, by the way, I'm talking about myself, I hired like everyone. Like, if you had a pulse and you were willing to get licensed, I hired you. Not the way to go, okay? You're going to start working with people that you quite frankly don't want to talk to. And like I say that with all love, right? So if you're looking at your phone and you're like, oh, I have this friend, Tom. I think he would do well here. But every time I talk to Tom, he just complains and complains and he can never be positive. I don't remember a day in my whole life he was positive. Tom probably isn't your guy. And I'm not being mean, but it's like you want to think about a recruit, guys, like someone you would want to be in business with. Because at the end of the day, like that's what this is. Like we're business partners. Like I love Heather and like I love her. Like I'm thankful that to be in business with her. When my phone rings, Heather Robeson, I'm not like, oh my God, it's Heather. I'm like, oh shoot, it's Heather. Like there's two different psychological things that are going to happen. If you start recruiting people you don't want to talk to, you're going to convince yourself that you can't recruit and sell. And that's because the people you're recruiting aren't your people. They're not your business partners. And I say that with love. There's a time for everybody. I've had being in this business in general for almost a decade now. I've worked around so many different people from friends to family to everything in between. And people are going to have their time, if you will, that they're ready for this. It's just like anything else in the world. It might not have been, as an example, your time to go to college right out of high school. And I'm just making this up. We all probably know somebody who took like a bi-year or, went back to school at one point or another. It just wasn't their time to go to college, but they were able to internally understand that. We can't push people into a commission sales position that aren't psychologically ready to be in one. And when we do, we feel like we're getting psychologically beat down because they're texting us, calling us like, oh my God, the world's going to end because 5 people hung up on me. The world's not going to end, I promise you. But going back to answer your question, Heather, what I would say the biggest things there are your schedule. Put recruiting in your schedule. Like make sure it's there. Now, if you want to recruit and you want to have 10 active writers, right? Let's just say you want to have 10 active writers by the end of July. You have to be realistic with yourself and put the proper hours into that. Make sure you're getting the proper reps out of that. Posting on social media and interacting with people, sending out direct messages. Hey, I see you're in the insurance industry. How are you doing? Love to connect with folks in the insurance industry. It doesn't always have to be like this pressured thing. And quite frankly, what I found is when it's not this high pressure moment, those are the people that work out best. They just do. So stick with the schedule, make sure recruiting's on the schedule, and make sure you have a good understanding of what you want your team to look like, right? Like, and when I say that, like, how do you envision you and your group? How do you envision you and the next 20 business partners that you bring on? What do you want that to look like and why? So I empower everybody on this call to like actually take a second to think about that because it's going to push you towards recruiting, but it's also going to make you a better agent at selling. And I want to just not overcomplicate this, but I want to add this in. Heather, would it be fair to say that when you started hiring, you took selling a lot more serious?
Heck yeah, I had to show up for other people.
Exactly. And when you're responsible for not just yourself, but for other people, like you show up and like you actually like prove to yourself who you are. And guys, like, that's some powerful stuff right there. Like if you can
Yeah.
do like that's some powerful stuff right there because you're unpacking yourself and it's not always an easy thing to do. So schedule, sticking to that schedule and the non-negotiables, making sure the activity's there. And remember, if it's not on your schedule, just like at school, you're not going. All right.
Yeah.
So make sure it's in there.
That's definitely powerful because I feel like we're always harping on certain things, right? Schedule is one, showing up to things, hiring and showing up for them. And that actually brings up too many things for me to actually unpack at once. So let me break it down from the beginning. Um, the first thing we have to do, and Camden will be, the first thing you said was, is it fair to say that you just basically hired somebody with a pulse? Camden will attest to that, that we were hiring people that we shouldn't have. What came from that is going to be part of the next question, asking good questions. Like, how do we know our friend Joe isn't going to be a good fit for this, right? Okay, so we learn how to ask good questions, maybe, or they tell us go ahead and ask good questions. That's the first thing we're going to talk about. The second one is your schedule, making sure if you hit your goal, then to make sure to adjust your schedule and actually follow through with going on social media and recruiting the people that you know or people that you don't know from other things, warm market or cold market, right? And being consistent with that. I think that's the second thing we need to talk about is the consistency of your business and how it helped you to grow. So those two things I kind of want to reach out to, I mean, kind of do better on, do more on with you. So asking good questions, you are an incredible communicator. I learn from you every single meeting. I've learned from you through Zoom and through phone calls and everything. What would be one thing you would suggest agents can do to learn how to be better question askers, whether it's to their clients or to people that they talk to on the internet?
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to my mind when you say that is don't second guess yourself, right? If your knee-jerk reaction is like, as an example, I tell you guys, like I'm on the phone as I'm like fake client, right? I'm on the phone with you. And I'm like, oh, I need this coverage because if I die tomorrow, my sister Christina is going to be in a really bad spot, and I'm not sure what you would do, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I have 18 reasons why. And then you get to the end and you're like, okay, which option are we going to go ahead and start with? And I'm like, oh, well, I have to think about it. Now, what comes immediately to my mind is like, well, she just told me that if something happens to her, Christina's not in a good spot. And a lot of us don't go back to that. We don't go back to like, hey, hold on, Heather. You just told me if something were to happen to you tomorrow that, Ron's not going to be in a good spot. So like, what is there really to think about? And now I'd say, can I be really forthright with you, Heather? And they always say yes. Can I be really forthright with you, Heather? Yes. Okay. Is it fair to say if something happens to you tomorrow, you haven't set up a plan for what Ron's going to do? That's just me talking from like my heart. And now you might be like, I don't know insurance. Guys, it's just about when someone dies, what happens, right?
Right.
Like, and I say
It's
that
not
like not
complicated.
like yeah, like but that's what the human brain does. We want to overcomplicate it. We want to make it harder than it is. We want to kind of bring ourselves to this tougher spot. But asking good questions, go back to your script every single time. But when you have a knee-jerk question, like if you were on the phone with your mother, your brother, your aunt, your cousin, however you can relate to this person, what would you tell them? And how does it vary from what you're telling your client? And there's times where I say, and Heather, you've probably heard me over the years be like, like, Heather, if you were my sister, my mom, my aunt, this is what I would tell you. So, like, basically, guys, when you say that, you're like, I'm telling you with love, is basically what you're saying without using I'm telling you with love. If you were my brother, my cousin, my uncle, here's what I would definitely tell you. It's great you got that work insurance in place, but when you leave the job or the job leaves you, you know you lose that coverage. So let's get something permanent in place for you today. We're going to go ahead and get started with that bronze option, Heather. Okay. Grab your driver's license.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, guys, but when you can just tell people what to do and you can talk to them from a place that like, they're like, okay, wow, like it sounds like Tiffany actually cares like about what happens to my family, like if I pass away, because I just expressed it to her through the question she asked in the script, right? At that point, it's like, that's their ammo, right? Like now you have all the ammo. They sold the insurance to themselves. Why are they going to think about it? So like asking good questions are huge, and not asking questions that you don't know the answer to. What I mean by that is if we get to the end and I'm like, well, Heather, do you have to think about it because like, you just like have to think about it, or like, do you have to think about it like because like you like want to talk to other agents? Like that's not a good question. Like, don't ask that question. It's awkward. It's weird. It's an open-ended question. You want to say close-ended things like, okay, Heather, I get it. You have to think about it. You want to talk to Camden about it before you go ahead and put this coverage in place. I can respect that. We don't even know if you qualify yet, and you have no life insurance today. So if something happened to you tonight, Camden's not in a good spot. Let's make sure we can even get you qualified. We'll get you going with the starter program at $5,000 for $26 a month. Okay, Heather? Now grab your driver's license. I'm going to get the application going with you. It sounds dumb, guys, but sometimes it's like the old analogy. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink the water. No, you can't make it drink the water, but you could push it a little bit forward. You could push its head forward and be like, no, hey, there's some water there. You could like splash the water up so they know it's there. That's what we're doing to the client, right? Like that's what we're doing. And then in terms of like, I think like asking good questions, Heather, it crosses a lot of different angles, right? From clients to recruits to honestly, when we're first getting started and as we grow in this business, if you stop having questions, you die. Flat out. Like I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Like you die in this industry the same day that you stop asking questions. If you're in this business and you've been in the business less years than Sean Mike has been, which is give or take about 15 to 18 years, he's still got questions every day. Ask yourself, like, why don't I? Is it because, and I want to dive in on this real quick, guys. When you're getting started, or even like you're in a rut, you're in a sales rut, or whatever you want to call it, you're in a slump, whatever it is, it's really, really important that you start to identify why that's happening. Because if you don't do that early and often, it's going to become like this big monster. And then you're going to come to Heather and be like, Heather, the last 3 months, this is what happened. And then Heather's like, oh shit, we're talking about the last 3 months, not the last 3 days, right? So one of my mentors had said to me, and asking questions has always been a thing in this industry. Like Sean used to always come at me and I love Sean for this because it opened my eyes. He'd be like, Maryssa goes out, she writes 25 grand a month. Like, and this was like years when I was first getting started and I really wasn't doing a whole lot. He was trying to push me in the right direction. Like Maryssa comes in, she writes 25 grand a month. She works like 12 hours a week, runs like 6 appointments. And then like, she got no questions because obviously she's doing better than anybody here. And you can imagine how uncomfortable that would be. I could have took that one of two ways. I could be like, wow, he's such a jerk. He doesn't care about me. Like, wow, like he just like, he doesn't want to see me win. No, he wants to see me win. That's why he's telling me to ask the damn questions. Same thing here, guys. No, Heather doesn't expect you to be able to be like, she would probably be really thrown off, I could imagine. Heather, if one of your brand new agents who just got their life insurance license unmuted and was like, so this is how the fixed indexed annuity works. And they just ran through a whole, and you would be like, what is going on? Like, did Chat GPT write that for you? Guys, stop Chat GPT in the questions and start writing them down. One of the biggest and most valuable things a mentor gave me when I came into Family First Life was asking good questions is so important. And I wasn't always good at asking questions, period. I just want to be really honest about that. But the moment I started to get uncomfortable in asking those questions is the moment I grew in my business. It was the moment from personal production to building a business and everything in between. And my mentor said to me, as you go through the week, are you ever in a moment where you're like, I wonder like what I could have done better there? Or like, I got this weird thing that happened and like, I wonder how that works. Or this person brought up a variable annuity. What is that? You ever have questions like that come through your brain in the middle of the week? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he was like, do me and yourself the biggest favor in the world. He said, you can call me anytime. And I think that Heather would agree, like, hey, you can ask a question on Discord anytime. You can reach out anytime. You can reach out to me anytime. I'm happy to help you guys. but writing questions down each and every week. And he's like, not because I don't want to answer your question in real time, but because if you write those questions down, those are things that your mind actually wants to know and learn from. It could be like, how do I handle my taxes? Like, but write it down. And then every week, if you can go to your mentor and have a couple of questions, there were weeks where I was like, you know what? Actually, I had a really good week this week. I bumped into this one odd situation, but things are going great. I'm not saying make things up and ask questions. I'm saying think about what you need in your business and ask the questions. That's actually a huge win. I want to be like really clear on that because when you can come to a call, talk to a person, even think about it like this, guys. When you go into a doctor's appointment, as simple as like a PCP, like, your annual physical, sometimes we go in there, we have some concerns, okay? Like, as an example, like, maybe like, your energy's been really low and you're like, I just been feeling like really like out of it by like 3:30. I'm just really tired. You almost take these notes in your head of what you're going to bring up at your annual physical. Has anybody ever done that?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like we know what we're going to bring up. It's the same thing in a business setting because sometimes things are moving so fast throughout the day that it's like we can take a pause, but like it's not this pause where we can dive in, so to say. But if you can write down questions, whether it's one question or it's 18 questions, I mean, as long as the 18 questions are valuable, great. But guys, if you don't have questions in this business and you're not getting the results you want, you're shooting yourself in the foot. It's like you're walking on your own business, not standing on business. You're walking over your business. You're acting like it's not even there. It doesn't even matter. I'll figure it out one day. Have these intentional questions and bring them to people who can answer them for you, like Heather, myself. You have so much support, and I just want you guys to know that. So learning from others is huge, 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 huge. I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today without learning from others, because I definitely couldn't have taught myself any of this.
So you actually just proved something because the question that I asked you was for me, right? Yeah, on me. Okay, cool. What you did, you don't know this, is you just made me have this light bulb moment during that conversation. And just so you all know, I wrote this down. We are going to start implementing, and Nathan's on this call. He'll do it right now. You have the ability in Discord to make different rooms or whatever you want to call it. I think they're called chats or something. I'm not good at that stuff. But Nathan's going to implement right now for everybody a Q&A section where we can just go in and write your questions down. That was a light bulb moment for me. It was because of a question that was asked and you answered it so well. So thank you, because you actually just made our entire group have one more beautiful place for us to communicate as well as ask questions. And you're right.
And Heather, I love that. Can I piggyback off that too real quick?
Yeah.
Guys, what you're going to find too, I love that, the Q&A, I love that.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to find is a lot of the questions you have, other people have the same exact question. They're just too scared to ask it. Be the person who's not too scared to ask it. Like the person who asks the most questions wins in business and on sales. Like we're in both, guys. Like win. So I love that, Heather.
That's awesome. And it's going to be a revolving thing where you can just go back. Any new people, new agents can go back and just look at the Q&A section. Oh, that was beautiful. So you just proved your own point. That was awesome.
There we go. Love it.
Thank you. Okay. So with that being said, let's go on to the second part of that first question, which is basically about social media. But you don't have to talk solely about social media, though a lot of us are utilizing social media for recruiting. Consistency with everything we do. Let's talk a little bit about that. How do you, what's the question I would like to ask? How do you instill consistency? I know you can't lead a horse to water, or you can lead it, but you can't make it drink. How do you instill consistency in work days and schedules and recruiting and social media? How do you instill that in yourself and or agents that you work with?
Yeah, so I'll speak for myself first. So the biggest thing that I had to realize coming in was like into like the industry is like this is a business. Like we're 1099 independent contractors. Therefore, we run a business. Whether it's just you or it's you and a million other people, we're running a business. And In business, consistency wins. So if you don't believe that, which to be honest, I was like, when I first got started, I was like barely 20 and I was like, I don't know if I can wake up before 10:30 because I just graduated college and like I really don't want to. Like that's just how I felt about it. Like that's literally how I felt. Was it right? No. Be very clear. No, it wasn't right. But what I had to realize was, okay, let me see what happens. Let me see what happens. If I do wake up at 6 o'clock, I do my morning routine, and then I go into my workday. Let me see if there's actually any type of change that happens. And let me just do it for just a week. And let me just see if there's any type of change or any type of positive thing that comes from it. Every single time, Heather, that I've challenged myself to do something like that, there is a positive change that comes from it. It's like, oh, wow, you're in a lot better of a mood because you didn't wake up, rush to get ready, freak out that you're late. And then you're like, oh my God, I have to be on. Like, no, you were just moving and grooving and doing your morning routine and following your schedule. And what you're going to realize more often than not with consistency is when you start consistently doing something and you're winning at it, the moment you stop doing it, your brain is going to be immediately aware. It's going to be like, oh, you stopped doing that thing. And you're going to want to blame something else because it's hard sometimes for us to take self-accountability. All of us, not like you guys, all of us. And we're going to want to blame somebody else. But really what happened, Heather, is we stopped consistently doing something that we were doing. What else I've learned about consistency is, guys, we can consistently do the wrong thing. I don't mean like, I'm not saying like we're out here committing crimes. That's not what I'm saying. Please, I hope none of us are, right? But what I'm saying is, as an example, if I need to think about it on every single call, but I'm not asking for feedback. I'm not getting feedback. I'm not letting anybody know I'm stuck there. And I'm just consistently closing the same way. And every single time I go to close, I need to think about it. And then I'm trying to object and rebuttal it, and it's going tit-tat, and I never close. But I'm not getting any help. You can consistently do the wrong thing. I want to I think we all know this, right? But it's important, like when it was said to me that way by Trey Honeycutt, it stuck with me. Because I was like, oh, I don't think I'm really consistent. I forgot I was like, I'm not consistent at doing that. And he was like, well, you're consistent at doing something. So if you're on here right now, you could be consistent at oversleeping. You could be consistent at, not getting your mind right. You could be consistent at not working out. You could be consistent at not picking up the phone. You could be consistent at not getting feedback, not asking questions. You could be consistent at all those things, all of them. But none of those things are going to help you win. So if you're not adjusting, so to say, the consistency doesn't always matter. Now, on a brighter note of consistency, Heather, to answer your secondary question to that, because my point is, guys, is if you're consistently doing the wrong thing and you talk to 80 people and they all tell you, they have to think about it, like you're probably going to quit. Everyone has to think about it. It's like, but who did you ask for help? What did you change? Or did you just consistently go with, oh, they have to think about it, I'm going to get off the phone? Like, which way did you go, right? So to answer your kind of secondary question in terms of how do I, kind of try to instill that into agents, I really honestly, I talk a lot about personal experience. And guys, that's not because like I'm all so great and good. To be honest, it's like the opposite. It's because I had a lot to work on when I came into this business, like personal self-development. I also had a lot to work on and learn in the actual business itself. So it was like a double-edged sword for me. So I usually try to help agents understand like, hey, no one's perfect, guys. Like if you're out there right now and you're like, Heather's perfect, I promise you, Heather's not at home like I'm so perfect and I got everything together and I'm perfect. No, that's not what's happening, guys. But what Heather can say is, I'm so consistent. I'm consistent at what I do. I consistently follow my schedule. I consistently use this objection when I get this rebuttal. I consistently help bring agents on or understand things this way. I'm consistent in the right areas. And probably, Heather, if you're human like I am, you've been consistent in the wrong areas too. You recognize it, you change it, and you move on. But if you know yourself, as we all do, and as an example, you don't ever wake up on time. You don't get onto the Zoom with the intentions of doing what you said you're going to do. Change it. Go back to that drop dead goal. Drop dead. What am I consistently going to do? Like that could be like if you wake up at 10 a.m., that could be no matter what, I'm not going to get out of bed no later than 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is the latest. I'm not saying I would like tell y'all to go for 9 a.m., but if you're waking up at 10, 9 is better,
Dang,
right?
if I
Drop
could
dead.
just sleep till 9.
I Heather's like, that's like a dream, right? But but guys, when you start consistently doing something and you actually see the power behind it, that's when you start to do it. But if you don't start to do it, you're never going to see the power behind it. It might take a week, it might take a month, it might take 90 days. Depends really what it is. But if you don't start, doesn't matter. Like Heather, have you ever showed up for 2 hours on a Monday at work and then like shown up not till Friday again for another hour and a half? I don't think you've done that.
No.
Like, or if you did, you weren't like, I'm working, right? You were like, I took the week off or something. I don't think you've ever done that. But guys, my point is you can't tap in and tap out. Like I always say, like, and Heather, I hope you don't get mad at me for saying this on your call. So please forgive
I
me and
never will.
tell me if you get mad at me. But like I always say about this industry, guys, like you got to be all in, like mentally. I don't mean like you got to drop it. That's not. You got to be all in mentally to learn, or you need to you need to get out of the way because you're not helping anybody if you're not committed to learning, you're not committing to growing, you're not committed to getting uncomfortable with different things that are going to be consistent. Because if any of us right now go and we get a job in corporate America, they're going to give us our damn schedule and they're going to tell us when we got to be there. And they're going to tell us what we're going to be consistently doing every single day. So you have to ask yourself, like, do you want to work for someone else or do you want to run your own business? And there's not a wrong answer. I don't like hate on people in corporate America. I think that like if corporate America is working out for you and you like it, awesome. That's just not something I can personally deal with. So I know I have to consistently do things that make me uncomfortable. I know I have to learn skills that maybe John, who works as an accountant, doesn't have to learn. But John had to learn other skills as an accountant. My point is you're still coming into a brand new position. And just like even in corporate America, you don't know everything after a year. Same thing here, guys. You don't know everything after a month, a year, and no one expects you to. That last part, no one expects you to. So when you feel like you're not following through on the things that you said you're going to do, you're not being consistent, reach out to somebody who you know cares about you in this business. Reach up and out. I always say that, reach up and out. And it wasn't something I was always good at. But Heather, when I started reaching out to other people, what I started realizing was like, oh wow, I'm not the only person who's having this problem, right? Like Easton Patton's having this problem. Steve G's had this problem. But they're able to give me some feedback of things that they actually did to get themselves out of that place or out of that rut. And if we don't do that, we're not growing. And then the consistency doesn't even matter. So guys, if you're like, I don't know if this thing's going to work, and you're on here right now and you're nervous, you're like, I don't know if it's going to work. I just want you to know that every single person that's come into this business doesn't know if it's going to work. Every single one of us. I didn't know. Heather didn't know. Tiffany didn't know. Amar didn't know. None of us knew. Okay. None of us knew. But if you can just believe that it works, allow yourself to do something consistently for the next 90 days. Like drop dead 90 days. I'm going to do this. You're going to prove to yourself and to others that this business model does work. And you're going to feel that much more confident about bringing other people into the business because you're like, wow, this thing does work. Wow, I see it's working. Guys, it does work. It absolutely works. If it didn't work, FFL wouldn't be doing, $1 billion a year, right? So it's like, remember where you are, remember the stats, but also remember like you're not broken, right? Like just because you got some things you got to fix, you're not broken, you're not a mess. You can't not sell insurance because you got some stuff going on. Like don't categorize yourself that way. Categorize yourself as a work in progress. I'm a work in progress and I'm proud of it. And the moment you can be proud of that, take accountability for your life and figure out the things that you do want to be consistent at. That's where things thrive and that's where things grow. If you know you don't want to build a team, don't tell Heather you want to build a team. If you know you don't really want to write a lot of personal production, but you love the idea of building a team and you just want to write 15 grand a month, beautiful. Tell Heather that. We'll work alongside you to help you get to where you want to go. But the first step is figure out where you want to go. The second step are what are the consistent things I have to do to get there? And then the third step is following through on all of those things. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to be worth it? Yes.
That's awesome. That's actually huge. And in lieu of time, I want to make sure that we finish up in time. But what I just heard was basically a lot of agents come in, including myself, come in not knowing anything about this whole industry. Like none of us really come in. People tell us to get licensed. It's a financial industry. You're going to make lots of money in the right company. This is the right vehicle. However, the word company is strong because we're not in a company. We're building our own business. Then we have to learn how to run a business. And in order for us to do this, we have to have faith in the system that is already here for us, right? And then once we start to learn to have faith, we have to be consistent in growing what we want to grow, not what somebody else wants to grow. And that consistency is what builds you. And it truly is. It's built me who I am and built you who you are. I had one more question, but I want to respect your time. So I'm going to ask you just to say, if there was one last thing you wanted to say to anybody on this team, about anything you want to, what would you, aside from what you just said, because I was like a mic drop type thing. But if there's one last thing that you wanted to say before you got off, what would you say to my team? Your team, by the way.
Yeah, so first of all, I would say I just want you guys to know, like in all seriousness, I don't just get on every call and just like say this like because somebody asked me to be on the call. Like Heather's like an amazing person to work with. She's an amazing person to be in business with. She actually cares about the people that she works around, and that's a blessing. And if you take a look around the industry, you'll see that that's not common. It might look common on social media, but when push comes to shove, it's not actually common. So just realize like, yes, you're in the right IMO on the right team with the right leader. And I just want you guys all to know that like from my heart. Heather's amazing. And Heather's amazing for so many reasons, but a lot of what we just talked about, such as Heather's not scared to be like, I'm a work in progress. Like Heather's not scared to ask for help. Heather ain't scared to be consistent. And Heather ain't scared to show up. So guys, if you're on this call, first of all, and I haven't had the chance to meet you, welcome. I'm excited to have you. You can reach out to me anytime. But just remember, in the beginning, it's supposed to feel hard. It's supposed to feel really difficult. It's supposed to feel like, I don't even know if I can do this, and I might cry in the first 90 days. But if you're pushing through, you're asking questions, you're getting help, you're getting feedback, and you're allowing yourself a little bit of grace to make mistakes, no one expects you to be perfect. Not me, not Heather, not the guy down the street. Okay, nobody expects you to be perfect. And quite honestly, I'm not trying to compete with God, so I don't know about y'all, but remember that every single agent that's come into this business has had a hard time with something. Like when they got into the business, there was something that they had a hard time with. And you can either allow that to be your story as to how you overcame it, or you can allow that to be your story and your excuse as to why you couldn't start the business. And I say that with love because I know every single person on here is more than capable, has the right system, the right leadership, and is with the right company to do that. So guys, I want you to leave this call empowered. I want you to leave this call knowing like, hey, like I might have ABC going on or EFG or HIJK LMNOP. It doesn't matter how many things I got going on. That's not applicable to what I do here. And I just want everyone to realize like when we say this is like an equal opportunity, it really is. Like Heather's not going to stop you from growing a team. Heather's not going to stop you from writing $8 million this year. Heather's not going to stop you. Heather just wants to run with you. So guys, start running, identify your goals, keep them in front of you. I love vision boards. They're my thing. They're my jam. I believe Heather uses vision boards as well. Like figure out what you want and then make that schedule, commit to consistency and run with it. Ask questions along the way. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Get comfortable being uncomfortable the first year in this business. If you can do that, you're going to win, guys. And I'm really just excited for a lot of you guys that are getting started. And I know that the sky's the limit for this group, and I know you guys are going to crush it. I'm even excited, Heather, and I'm not going to hijack the call any more than I already have, and I apologize. But I'm excited
You're
to
the
see
star.
Thank you. Where you guys are by the end of June, right? Midway through. You guys are growing. You're on a growing team. And that's something I want you to take pride in. Because if your team isn't growing, your team isn't doing anything, you might be on the wrong team, okay? Y'all are not on the wrong team. You guys are on a team with people who are so plugged in, want to see you win, want to help you, but you just have to want to get uncomfortable enough to do those things. So Heather, I hope that that makes sense to all of you guys.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so much for
Maryssa.
having me on. I
And
really
everyone
appreciate
will
it.
be on this call in 1 hour. We will be on Solidity's team call. This is our first week. I appreciate you, Maryssa, for hopping on and spending your time with us and giving us so much wisdom. This is our first week of doing oh gosh, what is it called? Not qualifications. Telling people what's coming up and how good they did.
The
My brain.
recognition.
Recognition, thank you. So, guys, I'm going to let Maryssa go. And Maryssa, if you want to see the recognitions, feel free to stay. As soon as the recognitions are done, typically they will be in the beginning of the calls. Because this is our first week, you got a little leeway. So here we go. Thank you for being here, Maryssa. Have an awesome day.
Thank you for having me
We'll
on. I
see you
appreciate
soon.
each and every one of you guys.
Remember the importance of teamwork, as it said. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. Here are the top 5 agents WTD for April 15th through the 21st, week 3. Congratulations to Heather Robeson, leading the pack with over $13,000. Let's look at the top 5 agents MTD for April 2026. Alex Gross takes the #1 spot, followed closely by Heather Robeson. Your persistence, focus, and hard work speak volumes. Congratulations to all the top performers. This is our weekly schedule, packed with opportunities for growth and collaboration. Take note of the morning motivation meetings, the Solidity weekly team meeting on Thursday, and the Millionaire Maker on Friday. Our May book of the month is Winning the War in Your Mind by Craig Burchell. Join the discussion on Discord every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time during the morning meeting breakout room. Register for the virtual business overview at fflvbo.com/join to share more about the IMO that is paying agents what they deserve. Great news! Family and agent group health insurance are now available to all. Thank you, Integrity. Find out more and get your rates in minutes at integrityhealthplan.com. Don't miss the Ignite sales conferences. We have 2 free entry events, Phoenix on May 28th and West Palm Beach on September 10th. Register as soon as possible to learn how to sell at a high level, build an agency, and scale your business. Team events will be posted in Discord. Get ready for the Great El Paso Lock-In from October 28th to November 1st. Families are welcome, but get your flights soon. All Just Serve members should attend this lock-in. Registration for this will be coming in Discord. Welcome to
All right, guys, have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next call. Thank you for hopping on.